Hello Nigeria, it's your girl Ada Ifomachiko live at the Itele Media Studio with
Dr. Emmanuel Asekhame.
Dr. Emmanuel. We hear that you're a presidential aspirant. Tell us a little bit about that.
Over the last couple of years, I have decided to become an active player in the destiny of Nigeria. Nigeria is at a crossroad where we're plagued with insecurity, we're plagued with poverty, we're plagued with a struggling education system, wherein we're having a high and a huge level of unemployment within our youth. So I've taken it upon myself to not just be in politics, but be a change agent, to actually work and look into how to transform the structures, the system, and bring about the required change in our country.
Okay, in the place where people have said that the diagnostics is not just about the president, whoever sits there, but the system. So you going in as a president, what do you plan to do differently against the system that might work against you?
Absolutely, you are absolutely correct. So I have a background in organizational transformation, and this has prepared me for this high office. So basically, I built systems cradle to grave, wherein you go into an organization that is totally moribund, and then you restart it and you bring it back to life. And with that experience of over 20 years, I'm looking to kickstart the Nigerian system. First and foremost, you're looking at security. I'm trying to go back to our almost a constabulary state where we have in every ward we're policing, every local government we're policing, we have intelligence coming from local government to local government. Secondly, I'm also looking to work to build our power system. One of the biggest problems Nigeria has was 66 years since independence, and we still don't have constant light. I've worked for over 3 of the largest power generation companies in the world. I helped build the power system in Poland. I helped build the power system in Japan and the distribution system in America. So I'm looking at building out power systems, power plants, new transmission systems, privatizing, working with public-private partnerships to ensure that we have states that can boast of constant electricity, and then we move forward into those that don't have and drive through.
So basically, you've lived through experiences and you plan to bring those experiences into the system.
Absolutely. That's the only and the best way. It's kind of like an exam. The only way to pass an exam, you need to know what you're writing about. And that's one of the problems we've had in Nigeria. We've had ministers of finance that don't really know anything about finance at that level. We've had ministers of power that have never worked in a power plant. We've had ministers of education that their education is faulty. So if you don't have, how can you give? That's one of the biggest problems we have here.
Okay, so we've seen so many movements come up, but hearing about the systematic democratic alliance, a little bit on that.
So one of the good things, I know you said strategic democratic alliance, is it's been around for a while, and it's a movement. It's not a political party. Initially, when it started, it was geared to become a political party, but it became a movement. Just because it needs people that are not in the business of politics. It needs people that are not trying to build a war chest, that are not looking for how to be in power for 16. We need to inculcate those kind of behaviors in Nigeria, where we look at our country as our communal good, not just a public property. We look at it as we're part and parcel of the country.
So if anyone wants to be a part of that, how do they go about it?
There's a website, there's a link, you just sign up. And again, it's like I said, it's not a political party. It's not going to vote. I've aligned with various political parties to be able, because that's the only way to be a president. You have to come out as a presidential candidate to drive through forward. So as SDA, it's a good movement of like-minded Nigerians driving forward to bring in change. You're correct there.
So Nigerians right now are scared and really tired. Everyone just believes Jabba is just running the country. So to everyone who has lost hope right now, what do you have to say to them?
There's no place like home. I lived in the UK, I lived in the US, and oftentimes you always see yourself as a second-class citizen elsewhere. The only place that you're truly a citizen of, or you're truly happy and satisfied, is in Nigeria. So I think hopefully once we're able to get the right leaders, we're able to get the right change, we can make our country conducive once again, where you know that if you face education, if you face the one boy structure of being an apprentice, or if you learn a skill or trade, you know that at the end of the day, 20 years into this, there's going to be success out of it. There's going to be, because at the end of the day, what most people really want is food on the table, ability to train their children, an ability to have savings, roof over their head, good shelter. That's the kind of society. Yeah, that's the kind of society I grew up in, and that's the one I want to be able to give back to the citizens of Nigeria.
Okay, so with all this change you really want to impact in Nigeria, do you think 4 years will be enough?
I absolutely believe 4 years will be enough. Most of the projects that I did were 3 months, cradle to grave. It doesn't take more than a year. Once you have your plans in place, brick to mortar, you're able to go from there. You just need to be able to do. And like I mentioned, we're not really utilizing public-private partnership. Over the last 6 years, Nigeria has just focused on oil a lot. We've forgotten about granules, we've forgotten about palm oil, we've forgotten about natural resources as well, gold and all of that. So we need to be able to get on the table and say, okay, for example, if we invest in this, what can we get? If we invest in bitumen, what can we get? In our rare earth minerals, what can we get? Draw all of those, and that's where the budget should be coming from. We shouldn't just be worried about tasking common Nigerians at the ports to raise money, or keep raising the tax rates to make money, or just still benching on whatever crude we sell to make money.
Do you have any particular system to grow it within 4 years?
One of the two things there would be bringing a lot of foreign direct investment into the country, and also we need to be able to support small and medium scale enterprises. For example, providing electricity, providing security for people who, industries that need water. We need to be able to provide that water for them. Good roads, farm to market roads need to be provided for them as well. This is very, very important, because that, like you mentioned, this is what's causing the Japa syndrome. People can't start a business, they don't make profits, there's no loans, there's no grants from the government. So we need to look at it like it's an organization. We need to look at the government as being the father of the children, and Nigerians as being the kid, because oftentimes it's like we're the redhead stepchild often in a house, and we're not being taken care of by the government. Every citizen is part and parcel of the family, and then we need to, the government needs to provide for the citizenry.
Do you think the citizens have a role to play in all of this, or just wait for the government to create a change?
The citizens create the change themselves.
Okay.
Of course, oftentimes when you look at the people contesting for elections, I was in a conference today, and someone said, just joking, like if people had to run a race, who would finish first? We need to be able to look back and get presidents that we actually know they can finish that race of change and open, and getting Nigeria to where it needs to be. If someone's not ready for the job, don't hire them. If you can't hire someone as your driver, why would you have to vote for him as your president?
True. So it's not just about a person willing. Do you have the capacity for the official option for it?
Absolutely, and we need to be detribalized. If an Hausa man can do it, give it to him. If an Igbo man can do it, give it to him. If a Yoruba man can do it, give it to him. So and then we need to get to a point where we just have people that mean well for the country. When we look at the whole system, we don't even see that in governors. We don't even see that in the House of Rep. We don't see that in the Senate. When you look at other countries, their House of Rep is filled with lawyers. It's filled with people who have some experience, who are passionate, who also have experience in making law. Now we just have people who
can, and they go.
The highest bidders are the ones that are all there in the House of Rep. The senators are ex-governors who want to just retire there and just still have a stake in the party. Don't worry, you can have a stake in the party. You don't need to be at the Senate. You don't need to be in the House of Rep if you don't have any business doing that. You can still be an active member of the society instead of taking those places. Exactly, let them go there. The people who can work with the government, work with the police force. The other day, a couple of kids were kidnapped. They still kidnapped. How many House of Rep members have gone to that city? Has the police chief even been there? Do we have drones up in the air? That should be on the news 24 hours. No one's doing anything about it, because we look at those kids as the redhead stepchildren. We don't look at them like our children. We should look at them like these are our kids. If your kid is missing for a day, would you be okay? Would you be fine? So that's what we need to do. We need to treat Nigerians. Our leaders need to treat us as their own children. If they can sponsor their children to England to go to school, they should be able to sponsor every Nigerian. If they want to go abroad for healthcare, we should be able to make our health institutions the same.
Yeah, as good as
Exactly, and it's very simple. When I wrote the common entrance back then, I had a very remarkable score that allowed me to go to any school I wanted to go to. So that's where we need to start. Free basic education, free secondary education, and then for students that excel above average, we should be able to provide the sky is the limit for them. If someone has a first class, they should be able to access a scholarship. If someone has a first class, the civil service should be gunning for that individual and getting them on board. That's what we need. We need civil servants with first class, lowest to, second class upper. Being moved in there so we can have the best brains, in all these parastatals and organizations.
So basically saying meet people who consider humanity and see others as themselves to take role in that.
If we need to get it right, we need the best of us working for the rest of us.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Emmanuel.
Thank you very much.
So wonderful. Do you have any final notes, Nigerians?
I would say Nigerians should go out, register, make sure you get your PVC, make sure your votes count, and most importantly, we pray and hope that INEC plays fair, being an umpire, and we can make a change.